Hello, everybody. It's me, it's Kelvin.
Oh, hello, I'm Crease.
Hello, Kelvin. Oh, he's forgotten where he was, or who he was. Yes, hello there, everybody. We're here to do another one of our little shows for you. Thank you very much for joining us. As always, we would like to open with a very brief summary of how this show works. Very brief, and very efficient. Let's be very effective. Succinct. Let's be succinct with it, Crease. That's exactly what we must do. Crease has compiled a list of topics. He has compiled a list of news stories, of hypothetical questions, of things he would like to talk to me about, and he must hold my interest with those topics. And as soon as I grow tired, as soon as I cease to care about his endless blabbering, I will ring my bell. Almost knocked it over there. Almost smashed my bell.
Don't smash it. If you smash the bell, Kelvin, how would we continue this?
It would be over.
This perfect show.
Exactly. So yes, if as soon as I ring my bell, we move on to the next topic, and that's the end of that one. So we move on to the next topic. So let's move on to the first topic. Crease, what is that first topic?
Okay. Right. I'm going to do one of my hypotheticals. Okay, I come to you tomorrow and say, Kelvin, you need to help me. And you say, why, Crease? What's happened? I say, Kelvin...
Is that what I'm like?
Yeah.
Okay.
I say, Kelvin, I've killed someone. Mm-hmm. What do you do?
You've killed someone?
I've killed someone.
How have you killed them? That's the key to this.
Okay.
The key part of this question is, how have you killed them?
Accidentally.
You've accidentally
accidentally. I was driving along... a wasp got into my car and started buzzing around.
And got into your eye?
Near my eye. So right near my eye. Buzzing around near my eye.
Right.
And I was going, ah! And I obviously I've swat it away. I look up. There's a person in the middle.
You swerve. The car misses a woman walking along the road. Yeah. But the wasp
that I've swatted goes into her eye, into her brain. Okay. Because it's travelling at the speed of the car plus my swatting.
Yes.
Like a missile from a jet engine.
Yeah.
Like a missile fired from a fighter jet. And literally, like a shot from a rifle. Her head flicks back. She collapses to the floor dead.
Okay.
So, and I say, you need to help me.
I've killed someone. Well, I mean, I suppose realistically, in that circumstance, I'd probably tell you to go to the police because it was an accident. It's not your fault.
They're not going to believe that I threw a wasp in her eye.
I think you're exactly right. They wouldn't believe that you've thrown a wasp in their eye. There is almost no chance, unless are your fingerprints on the wasp?
Yes. They dusted the wasp.
They dusted the wasp for fingerprints.
And it's got covered in my fingerprints. And it's on CCTV. And the way I've swerved, it looks almost like a drive-by.
Yes.
Because as I've been driving along, this lady's walking along the side of the road.
Okay.
I swerve towards her, at the last second veer off, open the window.
Yes.
Boom! Straight out.
Like, right, okay.
Okay.
Okay, it's quite an ingenious way of killing somebody.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, I mean, I would be inclined to say you should probably hand yourself in, because in that circumstance, people would
What if a judge wanted to make
but
if I said, Kelvin, a judge is going to come down on me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just going to encourage more
wasp-related murders.
Right. Or if he wants to make make an example of me.
Yes.
So that it doesn't become the latest fad for kids, driving around town at night time to just...
Is there not a chance that the murder weapon would escape? Because the murder weapon would fly away afterwards, so they'll never be able to...
Well, I don't know how many wasps could survive a 200-mile-an-hour crash into someone's cranium and then fly away afterwards. That's to be a pretty
How fast were you driving and swatting?
I panicked because I was trying to hit the brake.
That basically means that even if you were driving at 70 miles an hour, let's even knock you... Let's say you were speeding. Yeah. Let's say you were going down a
dual carriageway
and you were speeding. Let's say you were even going so fast as 90 miles an hour. That still means that you have the ability to swat a wasp at 110 miles per hour on top of your speed.
But I've got very strong reflexes. It's
right.
Like it was a panic reflex. Mm. You hear these people who their kids are caught under cars and they can lift the car up.
Yes.
Mothers or whatever lift the car up.
If they can get away with that without being accused of murder, then you can get away with a wasp swatting. So I think I would suggest hand yourself in. I reckon they'll be all right with it. Because
explain the circumstances.
Unless, of course, I thought you would be able to get away with not reporting it because it was a fucking wasp.
What if I said I haven't reported it? She's in my boot.
So you picked the dead body up and put her in your boot? I
panicked.
Well, then I would say...
I've got fingerprints all over me, all over the wasp.
Oh, that's a really bad situation to be in, that.
You have to believe me, Kelv.
Well, I have to say that already I'm starting to disbelieve you, because if that's the story you come to me with, and he swatted a wasp into her eye, and there's not even the wasp in there to prove it.
What if I show you?
I would assume. Why would you want
I show you a video that I was taking at the time from my dashboard camera that I have all the time. And exactly what I say occurs, right?
Yeah.
And I go, I can't, look, see, the police can believe this. And as I say that, the device that's recorded it sets on fire.
So I've seen the proof.
You've seen that I've done it.
Right.
But I say they're never going to believe me, because they're going to believe I've stabbed something in her eye and tried to murder her.
That is as maybe, but what other alternative do you have? Because you
could help me get rid of her.
I could, but I honestly don't think really I want to get involved with that.
Really?
Well, I mean,
wouldn't help.
I'm trying to think of a situation in which I might help you remove a body. And I suppose, really, batting a wasp into a woman's eye is probably as closest to a situation where I might help you as any. I suppose, no, I mean, I honestly think, it depends. It's not a road you want to go down, because once you start burying bodies, and you start melting them in the bath, that is a bad road to go down.
Okay.
Right.
So this time I come to you,
yes,
and I say, you're going to have to help me. I've been doing this for a while now, and I'm not proud of it. And I open my bedroom door, and there's 10 bodies in there. Right. All in various states of decomposition.
Right. All with wasps crawling around behind their glassy eyes.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I've killed 10 people. And I keep going, I'm going to do it again. I can't stop.
You can't stop. And what do you want to know? Whether I would report you.
Will you help me? And I go there.
No. That's no. I'm sorry. I'd have to report you in that circumstance.
What if I told you I'd done it 10 times, but you only ever saw one severed arm?
Well, what difference does that make?
No one will
you
ever
still
find
told me
them.
you've done it 10 times.
No one will ever find them, Kelv.
No, I still think
no one will ever find them.
But it's not about whether they find them. It's about whether you're going to do it again. A crime of passion or an accidental wasp swatting is not the same as a man who's compulsively murdering
and
people.
If I went, no, it was just I was at a bad week.
You had a busy week.
Bad week, and these people. If I claim that this wasp keeps attacking me and I keep accidentally swatting it into people's faces,
right?
But it's happened 10 times. And so I keep their hands.
I can tell you now, right? I couldn't. That is a good point, because I can tell you now, I couldn't be a serial killer for one very specific reason. I
hope
couldn't
it's for more than one reason.
Well, which is that I couldn't hide in the wait of my victims, like in a bush or something like that, like in a park or wherever.
I understand.
I couldn't hide without thinking, this is a really good hiding place for murderers. And I could be murdered.
Just picture the post.
Or if it was like a really good place for serial killers to pick on their victims, you could have a situation where I was hiding and suddenly a serial killer would run out of his hiding place and he would kill me. And then suddenly another serial killer would run on and kill that serial killer.
Oh my God.
And at that moment, another serial killer would run out and he would kill that one.
So there'd be a serial killer.
It would be a serial killer murder.
That would be amazing. A serial killer murder.
And then the sun would rise the next morning and there would just be a pile of bodies with still serial killers running on left and right, stabbing each other. One would run on straight into the arms of the other, stab, and then the next one running on, stab. Just building and building until hundreds and hundreds of bodies, and then more than that, hundreds of thousands of bodies, building up in a pile, a mound, an enormous hill of bodies, foul and festering. Then months pass, months of building and building and building until half of Britain is empty, devoid of people, because all of them have been lurching out of the shadows and the dark to murder the other person. Years pass and countries, people are coming in on boats, planes, people are falling out of planes, they're jumping out with parachutes, knives ready, they'll be swimming across the channel, knives in their teeth, guns in their hand, the whole world devoid of life, nothing, a holocaust of serial killers until nothing was left apart from a single solitary serial killer who would kill the last person, and he would stand up and he would say, "What have I done? What have I done?" And he would shoot himself. Just waiting for Delete to give us a ring. Here we go. Hello.
Hello.
Hello there, can you hear us?
Yes, I can, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, that's a very nice at all, if you don't mind me saying so, Delete. What are you calling about? What topics have you got for us?
I've got two topics today. The first is a question for you, Kelvin.
Right, well, I'm sat here, so this is as good a time as any to ask it.
This is a Delete hypothetical.
Right, okay. Do you want me to play a theme for you?
The endless suspense of that theme is amazing.
Right, here we go. Let me play it for you.
Okay, in this scenario, Kelvin, every time you take a bump, a hit, or anything, another you will appear. but every time another one of you appears, it has a different facet of your personality.
Right, okay, yeah.
So in this situation, what would you do, just in general?
Well, just clarify for me. Each bump I take, each has a different aspect to my personality, or that they all have the same aspect.
Completely random, different aspect of you.
Of my personality. Well, what do you think then, Dilly? What sort of things would come out? What sort of things do you reckon would come out of the?
One would be your lust.
My lust, right? My endless lust. Yes.
A really lusty Kelvin. There'd be a really vain Kelvin.
Yes, that goes without saying. Yes.
There'd be a really frightened Kelvin.
A cowardly little Kelvin. Yes.
There'd be a really technophobic Kelvin.
Yes.
Like really scared of just a slight scared of remote controls.
Yes. Walks everywhere with an abacus.
There'd be a Kelvin that was concerned about the largeness of his feet.
Right, okay. That's a very specific aspect of my personality, but one which I cherish.
Part of you that would have sex with an 80-year-old.
Okay. And it's every time I'm bumped. How hard do I have to be bumped?
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't get one from sitting down.
I wouldn't get it from just sitting down.
No, but if you accidentally brushed against the electronic door, for example.
Right, okay.
Another one would...
I want it to be very limiting for you. Because if you think about it, if you were on a plane, which is a limited sealed space, and that plane went through turbulence...
Oh, that'd be awful.
I mean, but you've got the potential to drown in Kelvins.
That's true. I could be bouncing around off the walls, and all the bump buddies would be filling it like an ocean of bump buddies.
Can I ask, Dilly, if Kelvin dies, do his bump buddies die?
Yes.
Or... If I die, does it unleash all of my bump buddies, every aspect of my personality onto the world? So every single possible bump buddy is released.
Yes, I prefer that ending of the world.
Right. So the end of the world would come when I eventually was driven mad by my bump buddies, tried to kill myself to save the world, and instead unleashed an ocean of bump buddies.
Well, if the government feared that you were going to take over, seeing as you've got an army of bump buddies theoretically to take over, they'd have to imprison you in a cell, but it couldn't be a padded cell, because even that would produce bump buddies. What they'd have to do is they'd have to suspend you on bungee cord in the middle of a cell.
Yes.
Completely unable to move in the sky. They'd have to hold you.
Space. Actually, no. The best actually know what to do.
You
would have to fire me into space.
Unless, of course, you hit a meteorite on the way out and return to Earth. Yeah. Thousands of you re-entered the atmosphere.
Right. Okay.
Because you've been involved in some sort of supernova bumping.
The ash of a billion bump buddies raining down on the world like Pompeii. God, what a world. What a horrible, horrible end to the world. Okay, then. Well, have you got any more topics you want to discuss? Hang on, somebody else is calling. Hang on a second. I'm going to have to cut you off. No, I'm not. I'm going to cut him off and add him in. Right.
Oh, yes, do that.
Let me do that.
Is it Fry?
Yes, it is, yes.
Hey, hello.
Hey, hello there. Actually, I'm going to be really, really rude here and say, can I cut you off, Delete? Because I've talked to you now and it's slowing down Fry's Skype. So I've spoken to you now. Can I get rid of you and now have a chat with him because it's making his thing slow?
Okay. Bye-bye.
I'm sorry. I feel really rude.
You absolute bastard.
But it's my show.
I hope when you get bumped, that aspect leaves you.
Bye, Delete. But I'm sure yours will be the better
Delete.
part of the conversation, Delete, if it's any consolation. Bye.
Thanks, bye.
Oh, I feel really bad now.
Yeah, you should do,
I feel
you
terrible
bastard.
now. Right, so bye, Delete, bye. Well, let's pretend, just for the edit, right? So
Yeah.
I don't like such a bastard.
Yeah.
Let's
He hung up.
Delete.
Delete, can you hear us?
Oh, he's
Delete.
hung up. He's
Oh,
hung
what a
up.
bastard.
Sorry, I'm really sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. Hello there, Fry.
Oh, hello there, Kelvin. Hello there, Crease.
Hello.
How are you doing?
How are you, Fry? What's happened since we last spoke? We last spoke to you on your birthday, in fact.
Oh, yes, that's when I turned 23, and I'm
It
a
was.
fledged, card-holding 23-year-old.
I'm 31 on Sunday.
31. What are your big plans? What are your big 31-year-old plans?
I have no big... Once you get to 31, you don't have plans anymore. You think about your past birthdays and how much you enjoyed them. And
if I know Crease, which I think we can agree that I know him pretty well, he's got some surprise for you, Kelvin.
he's got some surprise for
And
me.
I tell you what, Kelvin, he's told me what it is.
What is it, Fry? Tell me, spoil the surprise.
Well, wouldn't you guess, Kelvin?
I don't know. Has he bought me a unicorn?
Kelvin, unicorns don't exist. And I know you're a special boy.
Yes, but neither does the surprise, Fry. So really, it's slightly moot, isn't it?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Kraken, there's a kraken.
It's a kraken, is it? Okay. Right. What do you think? How would you describe a kraken? Is a kraken just a big octopus, or is it like a proper monster? I don't really
know.
Do you know what would be monsters? I was thinking about this the other day. Insects would be monsters if they were much bigger, wouldn't they? Like, they would look proper monstrous.
I think that could be argued about anything, though, because, for example, I think what's a good animal? Okay, well, I think I'd take a bat, right? A bat, an enormous bat would be terrifying if it was the size of a bus.
No. But
I disagree. I mean, a giant kiwi wouldn't be threatening.
But like a bat, you look at a bat and you're like, okay, I'm not gonna lie, it's ugly, but it makes sense. Big furry middle, leathery wings. It flaps and flies. I'm happy with that. But think of a big daddy long legs. You'd be looking at it and you go, what's the point? Like, it'll just destroy the mind. It'll be completely mind
Destroy. It would be like one of the monsters from what's that thing
like
called?
Cthulhu.
Like a Cthulhu monster, yeah.
Okay, well, worms as well. Imagine a massive worm.
That'd be disgusting, Fry. It'd be disgusting. Worms, even small worms, are repulsive.
I don't think a giant ladybird is particularly Lovecraftian. I don't think that's a particularly threatening animal.
No, how about this about ladybirds, okay? I bet you've seen a ladybird, but you never really figured this out. They've got like a shell for their wings that opens and then the wings come out. Have you actually observed that? The shell opening and...
No, Fry. I have never seen a ladybird in my entire life. All my life, I thought they were mythological, like unicorns.
Or your birthday party.
Are you one of those people, Kelvin, that think that the red and white polka dot bit is the bit that flaps and make them fly?
No, I thought it was like a little duvet that they hide under. I thought it was like a little insect duvet.
Well, okay, maybe I just find ladybirds so much more interesting than everyone else does. And maybe that's my problem. But...
Well, no, they're quite likeable in their own way. I mean, they're quite likeable, but
they're
I always
not threatening.
think...
They're unthreatening.
Do you know why that is, though? I always think the reason that people find ladybirds appealing is because it looks like they've got big open eyes, like a big dog.
Yes.
Or a baby, you
Yeah,
know?
I
People
understand.
are drawn
Yeah.
to things with big eyes. That's one of those things,
That's
isn't
true.
it? And yet...
Flies look quite cute up close. With the big
Really?
eyes, yeah, with their big eyes.
Yeah, but that's not
They
the
look
same
quite
kind
sweet.
of thing.
They do. They look kind of like cows. You know, cows have big,
Cow?
lovely.
What on earth are you talking about? You think that's why flies hang around cows? You
No,
think that flies
I'm
buzz
saying they're
around
both-
cows?
I know.
Nothing to do with the fact that they're flying around their shit. It's entirely because they just think that they're massive flies. You think that's what it is?
Yes, I
You
do.
think it's they
Ants
think,
are
oh,
quite cool.
it's
Ants
the
are quite
queen
sweet.
fly. It's the queen fly.
Have you ever seen a fly up close?
How many flies do you have to milk to get a saucer of fly milk? Yeah, so hang on, you never did tell us. What's happened since between your birthday and now my birthday? What's happened between when I last spoke to you and now when I am speaking to you?
Specifically between us, like...
Oh, not between us. Nothing's happened between us. Clearly nothing's happened between us because I haven't spoken to you since then.
I mean, like, within the realms of information regarding us, you know? Things that happened to us, each of us, maybe separately, but stories from our own lives.
Are you speaking ancient Sumerian? I have literally no fucking clue what you're talking about.
Okay,
it's
so is there
like
anything that
it's like
happened
somebody
to us?
talking in timpani drums. What? No. Right, just use human words to describe things that have happened to you, a human, between when I spoke to you on a previous occasion and now.
Okay, Oh.
All right. Well, it's been very nice talking to you, Fry. Thank you very much for ringing.
Thank you, Fry.
Goodbye.
Bye.
The lovely Fry there.
The lovely Fry.
Okay, Kelv. Just got a couple more for you.
Right, fine.
Okay.
Yes.
But I'm going to need a sting for local news. Basically, I'm going to give you the title and then a small amount of detail, okay? Police hunt gunman seen shooting at hedge. I'm not saying the place.
I actually don't believe that detail. Well, no, you can do, I suppose.
Police hunting for 2 gunmen seen firing repeatedly into a hedge in Eaton Park this morning. Apparently 11:23.
And that's all the details we have.
2 individuals seen shooting.
2 individuals?
2 individuals were seen shooting, not gunmen, were seen shooting into a hedge.
You see, one's a man. One you could put down as being a nutter, but 2's careless. 2's a driver-by.
What I want to know, Kelv, is why were they doing it?
Well, there's any number of reasons. Mm-hmm. It could be a gang war. It could be a gang war.
Yeah.
I don't know. There could be a whole history between them and the hedge.
That's true.
But the thing is, there's 2
There's
of them.
2 of them. Do you think he could have got his mate? Could have got his mate to come down. This hedge has been giving me a load of trouble.
What sort of a friend, when told, I've got a hedge, he's causing me some trouble at the moment.
Causing me grief.
I want you to come down.
No, he's like, we're brothers from another mother, mate. If he's been giving you grief, we'll go down there. We'll fucking sort him out. The last fucking thing he'll ever fucking do. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, yeah.
Right,
and
okay.
Then just blatting away at the privet.
Okay, maybe that's possible. I'm not saying
true.
it isn't. So, and what happened?
I don't know.
They were arrested.
They're still looking for them.
They were still looking for them.
They didn't even know who they were.
Wow. Wore balaclavas in case the hedge's family witnessed it and reported.
Yeah.
I saw everything, Gov.
Yeah. I mean, they could be veterans.
They could be war veterans. That's right. Veterans. They could be old war veterans, and they
had a flashback.
They had a flashback to their time in the trenches of Welwyn Garden City.
In the trenches of deepest Hertfordshire. They were
deepest Hertfordshire. He woke up one morning to find out a hedge over his best friend and a bayonet in his eye. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, I like that.
He couldn't get his book. Maybe it wasn't an attempt on the hedge's life. Maybe he was trying to help the hedge. Maybe he had spotted the first signs of Dutch elm disease.
Or a ladybird.
He saw a ladybird crawling up, a caterpillar, and he thought, that's going for a leaf. If that gets to that leaf, I'll never forgive myself.
That's my favourite leaf.
Quick, John, get over here! John! Yeah.
Jesus.
Christ, it could have been anything. Chris, it could be anything. Maybe they weren't even shooting at the hedge.
Oh God!
Maybe a damselfly had landed on the very nozzle of their gun, and they were trying to get it off. They were going, "Get off! Get off!"
Oh God!
They were trying to shoot the damselfly off, and in the process killed this poor bastard hedge.
Oh God!
Could have been that. We don't know.
We'll never know. Okay, the next one. It's Crease's thought-provoking thought of the week. Percentage are you good and what percentage are you evil, would you say, in your own opinion?
That's a question.
Well,
now my first... No, you see, my first thought is that I don't believe it's split between the two.
Okay.
Because it's not like every single act I do is either an act of evil or an act of good, is it?
No, but...
Not every act I do is inherently good or evil. Me picking up this pen is a neutral act. I could pick up the pen for evil. I could use it to stab you. I would be picking up the pen for an evil, as a part of an evil deed.
I understand.
Or if the pen was trapping a daddy longlegs, and I lifted it, obviously it would be an act of kindness. It would be an act of kindness, an act of goodness. That would be a good act. But lifting the pen in just an everyday situation to write something or whatever, and assuming I wasn't, well, it depends. If I was going to writing a death threat, if I was writing a death threat, bad. If I was writing to the wife of poor dead Nelson Mandela, obviously it would be an act of kindness.
Unless you wrote something horrible.
I'm glad he's dead.
I'm glad he's dead.
True, absolutely true. So in those circumstances, it takes on a moral dimension. But assuming I was just writing out to write buy milk. assuming that I wasn't buying milk to poison it and then feed it to a kitten.
You don't think buying milk's evil?
Not unless I was going to use it for an
all
evil
those,
purpose.
all those calves.
I was going to use it to make a bad cake.
All those calves that are torn off their mothers, so that you can have the milk that's produced for it.
Now that's an interesting thought, but I'm still tempted to say that most acts are neutral acts unless you spin them in a negative or positive way.
Okay, so I'm going to give you some acts, and you're going to try and spin them in a positive way. At a children's birthday party, you're
not children. Can we not?
No, don't worry.
Right.
You're the children's entertainer for the birthday
Right.
party, right? Okay. So you do a couple of magic tricks. You get some hankies out of your sleeve and stuff, and you do a couple of magic tricks.
Right.
And there's one bit where you have an upturned top hat, and you reach in, you pull out a rabbit, and all the kids are like, oh, and they're stroking the rabbit, and then you just place the rabbit on the floor, and you just stamp on it in the middle, and both ends explode. I mean, brains out of one end, guts out the other.
Right.
Just stamping and stamping and stamping. And all the kids just looking horrified at you. Screaming. Covered in blood. Each time you stamp your foot down, more blood and sinew hits their face.
Right.
And starts dripping into their mouths.
How could I spin that for it to be a good act?
You want to, and then a parent comes out and goes, "What the hell are you
Pings
playing
me against
at?"
the wall. He says, "What were you doing, you maniac?"
And you explain that what you were doing was an inherently good act.
Right.
Because
I thought I heard it ticking.
And then the man points out that you're wearing a wristwatch that's ticking.
I would say I couldn't take that risk. I only heard one lot of ticking, and I couldn't risk that my watch had stopped.
So, yeah, and it was...
Yes, that's my answer. I couldn't risk that. I couldn't take the risk. If I hadn't done it and all those children had died, I couldn't have lived with myself.
Okay, very quickly, last good act that I need you to explain is evil.
Right.
You're driving your car. You see a family of ducks crossing the road with like mum and then loads of little babies in tow, and you stop the car and you pick mum up and the babies and you just scoop them over to the side of the road and pop them on the side. An inherently evil act, of course, because
on the other side of the road is a bear sanctuary. That's the end of our show,
That's
everybody.
the end of it.
Finally, we've done a show after
Ended
all
on a
these
high
months.
note.
Ended on a high note. So let's do our thank yous first. We've thank you to Delete. Thank you to Fry.
Thank you.
Thank you to Crease,
Thank
who's
you.
sat here with me.
Thank you, Kelvin.
Thank you to me. Thank you to
Well
me.
done.
And thank you to all of you listening. Congratulations, everybody, for getting through our show. If you've enjoyed this podcast, by all means follow us. We're Radioface Comedy on all social media platforms. I can't believe I'm actually using that phrase, but what else can I call them? That's Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. We hope you've enjoyed your show. We hope you've enjoyed our show.
Yes, and your show as well. We hope you've enjoyed all the shows.
In a way, it's your show,
It's
though,
your
isn't
show,
it?
yeah.
It's your show, because in a way, you feel involved, don't you? You feel involved. Yeah, so... That's so brilliant. What a brilliant end. Thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to speaking at you again soon.
Bye,
I've
everyone.
been Kelvin. This has been Crease.
Bye.
And, bye.
Bye.